Dave, another so-so week last week for both of us, heading in around 500 again, but lock of the week, 2-0. So as we head into week 3, let's kick off the NFL slate. Panthers heading into Las Vegas. The Raiders are only a 5.5-point favorite. I wanted to bring this game up, Dave, because the Panthers are obviously a hot mess, but this is 2 weeks in a row. Is it too good to be true that you can buy the Raiders at only 5.5? Who do you like?
The Panthers are a mess. I don't know how after your number one overall pick has one season in the NFL, he has been benched for Andy Dalton. Yikes. This team is a mess. And I mean, I'm not glowing about Gardner Minshew and the Raiders by any means, but if you're watching what the Panthers have looked like these first 2 weeks, you know what? I think they will look better with Andy Dalton. I don't know why. I mean, he just has been around for so long. Like, it could be closer, but I'd be hopping on the Raiders 5.5 here. Panthers are a mess. What about you?
Dave, I'm going to roll with the Panthers. Like, there's just something right now. There's something in the water in Vegas that just feels like they want the Panthers to cover one of these spreads. I'm not going to – I should ride until they do it, but I feel like I'm going to hop on it this week, and I'll take the 5.5. Maybe I get some movement to 6 later in the week, but I will take the 5.5 with the Panthers. No reason other than maybe it's the Andy Dalton experience. Maybe I get down to a field goal game there. We'll see. All right, Chargers at Steelers. Our boy Jim Harbaugh, 2-0 in the NFL. Back to the NFL. He's 2-0. Heading into Pittsburgh. Steelers favored by 1.5. Who you got?
I like guys who like football, and guys who like football tend to like me.
That's an all-timer quote. Thank you, Jim Harbaugh.
Dude, Harbaugh, please never change. Give me the Chargers. Plus 1.5 here. I'm not sold on. I think the Chargers. I think they've had the pieces. So I'm sold on them being a good team, to be honest with you. Like, they have potential to be a good football team this year. I am not sold on the Steelers. They have had a good defense. Justin Fields has gotten it done, but I'm going to roll with the Chargers here. What about you?
Dave, I love this play this weekend for the Chargers. I'm on the Chargers as well. One of the reasons I love it is TJ Watt is probably the best defensive player in the NFL right now. And when he comes screaming off the edge, how do you neutralize it? You run it down their throat. That's how you take him out of the football game. I love that the Chargers are probably going to run this ball 40 to 50 times this weekend. They're going to make it ugly. I like Justin Fields to turn it over a couple times. Give me the Chargers with the 1.5. All right, Dave. We've already talked about it in the Lions segment. Lions heading out to Arizona. A cross-country trip, usually pretty tough. Arizona coming off a huge win against the Rams. This was the Marvin Harrison Jr. coming out weekend. He looked fantastic. Obviously, Kyler looked good again. Kyler Murray, I think we can officially say he's back. Dave, Cardinals getting 3 at home against the Lions. What do you like?
You know what? I feel like in the Dan Campbell era, the Lions use these opportunities to bounce back in a big way. I'm not expecting them to blow out Arizona. I think Arizona is a sneaky, decent team, better than I thought they would be. And I was curious to see, what life would look like with Kyler back and with Marvin Harrison Jr. Looks pretty good so far. 3 points at home, though. I mean, that's hard to kind of just bat an eye and look the other way at. I am going to take the Lions, though, covering 3 points. What about you?
I'm going to take the Cardinals, and I'm going to take the Lions to win 24-23, something like that. I think this is going to be an absolute ball game this weekend, and I like the Lions to win, but the Cards getting 3 at home. Dave, you just nailed it. Hard to turn down, and I'm not going to turn it down. All right, let's switch to the college slate. The Illini, 2-0, or actually they're 3-0. Nebraska, also undefeated at the moment. Nebraska getting 8.5 at home. This is a good Illinois football team, though, Dave. I think they just are in the top 25 now.
Yeah, Illinois, they play tough, too. They play a tough brand of football. Nebraska's looked good. I mean, Dylan Raiola seems to really be that guy. Illinois looked good this year, and I like them with plus 8.5 here. What about you?
Love it, Dave. I know Nebraska's going to sell that place out. I get it. They're always going to sell out their home crowd. But Luke Altmaier, I think, is good enough. Dylan Raiola, tough spot, tough defense to go against here. 8.5 is too much for my blood. Give me Illinois in the points. All right, Dave. This is the game we've been talking about kind of all week. USC traveling into Ann Arbor. First Big Ten game for USC. Obviously, they wanted to make it a showcase game. We get it. It's the 3:30 CBS kick. We get all the vibes. We get all the music of the CBS. It's going to be a cool moment. However, Michigan getting 5.5 points at home for the defending national champions. What do you like?
I'm going to almost hope for like the reverse psychology here of the sports gods, but until I see this Michigan team do something different, and I know that they are. I know this is the Alex Orgy coming out party, and I hope to God that looks like a different football team. But I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it on defense. I certainly have not seen it on offense. And in the glimpses that I've seen of USC, they look to have a competent defense finally under Lincoln Riley. And we know that offense is good. Miller Moss is a very good quarterback, and Zachariah Brant's one of the best receivers in the country. They're also big up front. I'm going to take USC to cover 5.5 points, and it pains me to say it, and I hope when we record next week that I am proven wrong here. What about you?
Well, Dave, you will be wrong. I am taking Michigan in the 5.5, and I like Michigan to win this game outright. I love one of the matchups. I love Michigan's defensive line against Miller Moss. I understand their offensive line is okay. It's pretty good, and Miller Moss does an okay job of getting the thing out. Miller Moss also hasn't gone on a true road trip into a tough environment. He's not Quinn Ewers. He's not going to make great decisions, I don't think, all the time on the quick counts, on the RPO stuff. This is going to be more of, try to get it to your receivers down the field. I think that's to Michigan's advantage. I like Michigan with the 5.5 points, and I like them. I would do some money line sprinkle here. I think Michigan can run the ball enough. I think they can get creative enough to get in the end zone more than a few times. Give me Michigan and the points. All right, Dave. This game, I love this game. Tennessee at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's first, SEC test. We're going to see how it goes for them. They get to host a blue blood in Tennessee. Oklahoma getting 6.5 at home. Who do you like?
I'm going to be honest when I say I've not watched a ton of Oklahoma football this year, but I have kept my eye on Tennessee as they've played nobody, but they're averaging like 100 points a game. So for that reason alone, I'm going to take Tennessee with to cover the 6.5 points here. What about you?
Dave, I knew that about you. I was trying to set you up so you would take Oklahoma. I love Tennessee in the spot. I think Tennessee, if you outline this thing up to 12, 14 points, I think Tennessee absolutely slaughters them this weekend. Give me the Vols. All right, Dave. So I wanted to work in a little parlay play here. I think this is kind of a cool idea. These are all going to be money line plays. I like to link these together for a 4-leg parlay. I like Florida, Syracuse, Tennessee, and Oregon State this weekend as a 4-legger. You put all those together, it's plus 300. You put in $10, you get 30 back. This is a great play. And then as for the lock of the week, Dave, which we already talked about, it's 2-0. Kansas State minus 6.5 at BYU. I've watched BYU play a couple times. They are not very good. Kansas State, I watched last Friday. They absolutely lit it up. They took care of business, and Avery Johnson's a really good quarterback. Kansas State's defense is always for real. So give me Kansas State to cover the number 6.5.
Perfect. Like, follow, subscribe to Garage Takes here. Let us know what you think of these bets. And if you got some other ones that you think are worth hopping on, let us know down there in the comment section.